Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to have you here, and thank you for joining me. Today, I wanted to speak to you about the fact that there are so many of us that set goals. Really successful people set goals all the time. But what happens to some people that are more successful than others? I know lots of people that set goals, but often they don't reach their goals. So is it because they're more successful? Is it more because they're more organized? Is it because they're more on it? Is it because they're reading more? No, none of the above. The main reason that certain people are achieving a lot more goals than others is because they are very clear on their passions and their purpose. And then one of the things that they're doing is setting their goals that are alignment with their passions and purpose rather than picking goals. Let me give you some examples. I've been running workshops with women to try and help them with their confidence and their careers for a very long time. Almost 2 decades, actually. And one of the things that I've learned, whether it's on Zoom, whether it's on stage, whether it's online, is when I'm running workshops with women, when I'm doing my mentoring sessions with women, so many of them will talk about health. So many of them will talk about having a more stronger body, a better body, a more toned body, maybe even having weight loss. And I'm not a weight loss consultant. That's not my expertise. In fact, I love food and wine. And so one of the things we speak about is looking at your passions and looking at what your passions currently are. One of the things I've noticed over and over and over again is that health is not in your top 3 passions. See, the thing in life is you can only master 3 things out of the 7 areas of your life and out of your passions. And if you are not in alignment with that, you can set 150 goals. You are not going to achieve them. That's because inherently, psychologically, you're not set up to be able to achieve them. So in the Pack Women Mastermind program, which I only open the doors for 4 times a year, the doors are currently open, they shut in 48 hours. What I want to do is actually be able to help women to really look at what their top passions are. Because when we get clear and we consciously start choosing what our passions and our purpose is, then you know what? We end up being so much more successful than we would have otherwise. So it's so important to understand that really clearly. How do we do that? Well, the first space that you start is you start to look at where do you spend your time and energy. See, the thing is we often relate to this word passion as something that fuels us and excites us and all of the rest. But sometimes, even though we may not feel like we're passionate about something, if we're spending a lot of time and energy doing it, also time and energy thinking about it, then whether you like it or not, you might find yourself that you are actually passionate about that. And one of the things that you need to be able to do is to be able to really look at what this means for you. If you get very clear on your passions and then you set some goals, particularly the goals that you really want to achieve over a 12-month period. Now, you might have some long-term, life-term goals. I know I've got some traveling goals that I'm hoping that might take me 30 or 40 years to achieve because the list is long. But I'm talking about business goals, health goals, family goals, learning goals, perhaps my spiritual goals, perhaps money goals, different areas of my life that I want to set certain goals in. I want to get very conscious about what my top passions are. Once I know what the top passions are, then I have a much more chance of working out what my goals are, and then I want to set them. So if you would like to ask me some questions about that, it's something that I'm very, very, very passionate about because I see hundreds and thousands of people missing out on their goals year after year after year. And then they start to think that there is something wrong with them. They start to lose their confidence in achieving them because they think that it's because that they're not committed enough or there's something wrong with them or they're just not focused enough. It's not the case. You're probably very focused on things that you're really passionate about, and you're probably very unfocused about things that you're dispassionate or unpassionate about. So what I want to do in the live mastermind program that I run for 12 months is for you to be able to get super clear about what it is that your top passions are. I want you to then create some goals underneath them, and then I want you to monitor them weekly, monthly, quarterly, so that over that 12-month period, you smash those goals out in terms of what you do. Now, if you have any questions, my website is called Ask Shivani. If you've got any questions about the mastermind, I'd love for you to go to askshivani.com and just go to the mastermind. The mastermind is open for another 2 days. And one of the things that we're going to be doing in it is we're going to have monthly group mentoring sessions. I've also got access to some amazing people around the world who've agreed to coming on and running a masterclass every month. So we'll be doing that. We'll also be running a Q&A. You'll also get 4 one-on-one sessions with me where we get really laser focused around your needs and what we need to do to help you build that. And for the first time ever, because you've joined me on the masterclass, I've run retreats for over 12 years, but your retreat for Noosa next year for 2.5 days is going to be completely paid for. So coming to the conference or your speakers or your day packages and your dinner is all going to be paid for as part of this particular mastermind. So if you want to check it out, go to askshivani.com and go to the mastermind tab. What I would suggest is if you're interested and the doors close in 48 hours, is you book a time with me. So there is a Calendly booking link on there. Just click that, make a time that suits your diary and suits my diary. Let's have a conversation about your needs in terms of what you actually need. So going back to goals and passions and alignment. Somebody asked me the other day, I was actually on somebody else's podcast, and they said, Shivani, what is the difference between passion and purpose? And the simplest way that I can describe it is that your purpose is a vehicle and your passion is your fuel. So one of the things when we talk about aligning passions and purpose is without a car, for example, a vehicle, there's no point having lots of fuel. And without fuel, there's no point having a vehicle. So your purpose is always going to be a vehicle. Your passion is always going to be the fuel that helps you get there. And then once you've got clear on those two things, then you want to set the goals. You never want to set goals that are not in alignment with your passion and your purpose. I hope that today's live was helpful to you. If you've got any questions, my website is called Ask Shivani. Please drop me an email. Just go to askshivani.com and go into the contact form and just send me an email. If I can point you in the right direction, whether it be a book, a website, or answer any questions that you have, I want you to really get good at achieving your goals and not feel like that there's anything wrong with you. And if you've got any questions around the mastermind, please just book a time with me. Obligation free, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have too. Have a beautiful Monday, and I look forward to catching up with you soon. Bye for now.